Hi everyone, you're watching the Player Review Team channel. Today we'll take a look at what might be the best icon picks since the start of the season. Vidic, Essien and Zambrotta. There's definitely something to think about here. Along with the card review, we'll share some interesting facts and add a pinch of realism. Get comfortable and let's begin. Most of you are probably curious about Vidic first, so let's start with him. Nemanja has an average body type, stands at 190 centimeters tall, and comes with a lengthy acceleration type on any chemistry style. Given his physicality, we simply apply shadow to him. In playstyles, he has power header and a full set of defensive abilities except for anticipate and intercept, but he does have a gold bruiser, which is nice to see. What's not so nice is that he only has one role, stopper, but we'll get to that soon. Guys, Weekend League already starts, which means it is time to grab the best rewards. If you thought about boosting your account and at the same time having the chance to watch the stream, write to us. Contact is in the video description. Nemanja was a captain who broke strikers mentally before kickoff or right during the game. He looked more like a character from a Guy Ritchie movie. Sir Alex called him the perfect soldier. Rooney once said, "When Vidic is around, there's nothing to be afraid of." But in the game, his card feels ambiguous. On one hand, he's got a solid body type, decent pace, lengthy acceleration with a gold bruiser, and a price that speaks for itself. On the other hand, you'll notice occasional mistakes, slow reactions, and inconsistency in certain moments. Let's go step by step. His pace is fine overall, and most of the time he catches up rather than gets beaten, within reason, of course. He won't catch players with rapid, but he'll neutralize the danger with a two-footed tackle. No wonder he was called the Serbian Terminator at United, though these days that kind of tackle would probably get you sent off. Either way, sliding tackles really matter in this game. Here's a good example of a quick and clean tackle inside the box. It even reminds us of that sharp one he made against Messi. But sometimes he doesn't even need to slide. Against someone like Pina, shoulder-to-shoulder contact is enough if you time it right. That's where the gold bruiser comes in handy. The key is timing your challenge perfectly when you meet the opponent. Still, even the bruiser doesn't guarantee success. You wouldn't believe how many times Vidic completely missed his challenge or failed to win the ball cleanly. In moments where he should overpower his opponent, he just gets stuck behind them and loses his trademark aggression from real life. Of course, sometimes it's better to use the tackle button instead of relying on shoulder contact. But with a gold bruiser and that body type, it's strange that he struggles at all. In real life, Vidic always stepped up aggressively, so it's no surprise he was given the stopper role. But for FC 26, that's more of a downside. Like in this clip, he just loses track of his opponent. To be fair, there weren't too many of those, but there were enough sloppy moments, missed tackles or letting someone slip through, like here. On the bright side, when meeting attackers face-to-face, Vidic still wins duels without even using the tackle button. That's the obvious part. The bigger issue is that he lacks intercept. When you control him manually, he often reaches the ball, but as an AI, he just ignores passes that roll right next to him. One positive thing, the silver jockey feels quite good. He's not fast, but it's enough to make sharp defensive adjustments like this one. Even without anticipate, his wide tackle animations help when you defend manually, which shouldn't be surprising if you remember his legendary tackles. What's also familiar is how well he blocks shots inside the box. Nemanja literally throws himself at the ball without hesitation. And that's perfectly true to life. He really did put his face on the line. Auto blocks are another plus. It helps when you're not controlling him and he blocks shots on his own. Now to sum it up. Back in the day, the Ferdinand-Vidic duo was arguably the best in the world. But while Rio has always been reliable in FIFA, Nemanja is the opposite. Something always feels missing. This season is no different. He's not clunky since his jockey movement is decent, but his pace is lacking. And the strangest part is that the gold bruiser doesn't feel impactful. The combination of his body type, strength and aggression should destroy opponents, but it doesn't, at least not consistently. You could describe Vidic as an unstable card. Sometimes he dominates, other times he feels weak and out of sync. We wouldn't recommend building him into your squad. A player like Pacho will perform better. And if you don't rely on bruiser or advanced defending, players like Marquinhos, Saliba, or even Militão will serve you just fine. Those guys we can confidently recommend. If you're still unsure, contact us. We'll help you with coins so you can test Vidic before completing the SBC. Now let's move to the midfield and take a look at Michael Essien. He's got an average body type, stands 177 centimeters tall, and has 3+4 stars. Controlled acceleration is the only type you can get from this card, so Shadow or Engine will be the best chemistry styles. Not many playstyles, but all useful, though it's a shame he lacks tiki-taka and intercept. For roles, he's got box crusher and hold for a CDM, and box to box for a central midfielder. Let's start with the fun part. Look how far forward we pushed Essien, and yet he immediately sprints back into position thanks to hold instructions. That's why we see him primarily as a defensive midfielder. Here's another example. Essien drops back and automatically covers two possible runs, top and bottom. The top player makes a run and Michael cuts it off instantly. In the next clip, check out this burst of acceleration in advanced defending. It's almost like he's the one with bruiser, not Vidic. Essien grew up on the streets of Accra, Ghana, playing barefoot against adults. He later said, "That's where I learned to survive and play without fear." That attitude shows in the game. Michael is tenacious, aggressive, and wins the ball by crashing into opponents. The gold jockey deserves special mention, particularly its speed. Here's a good moment that shows how quickly he can cut out a classic through ball into the box. It helps him not only control the passing lane, but also track opponent movement in midfield. You could use Essien as a box-to-box given his pace and shot power, but that's not his ideal role. He performs best as a holding midfielder. We can recall his power shot against Arsenal in 2006 and many other rockets. But as you know, power shots are almost useless this year. So his best playstyle after jockey is incisive pass. Remember, incisive is still great for long balls. What he lacks is tiki-taka, so his first touch passes can feel uncertain and inaccurate. You can offset this by using his incisive pass as a pinged pass from midfield. Here's an example. Great speed and timing from the receiver is key. Essien wasn't just a powerhouse who bulldozed opponents, he was also a capable playmaker. That doesn't fully translate into this card though, so we'd still recommend using him as a holding midfielder with hold instructions, especially since his left stick dribbling feels average unless you boost it with engine. So what do we have? A strong, fairly quick body type with excellent jockey movement and aggression, good passing variety with incisive pass, and solid defensive awareness. But no matter how you look at it, tiki-taka rules this year. So someone like Busquets is miles ahead in build-up and tempo control. Sure, he won't defend as well, but for midfield play, that passing ability is more valuable. You could pair Essien with Busquets or Pogba, but ideally use him in a midfield 3 with someone lighter next to him. Still, we recommend looking at players with at least silver tiki-taka and more agility, like De Jong or Reinders. That really matters this season. Now it's time for Gianluca Zambrotta, and let's be honest, the best choice from this icon trio. He's got an average body type, stands 180 centimeters tall, and has 4+5 stars. A huge plus, and hello again to our young Cambiaso. Shadow or anchor, either works perfectly. He's great on both. He doesn't have many playstyles, but this is one of those cards where the body type matters more than playstyles. Importantly, he has fullback for right back and can also play on the left, which is always useful. As mentioned before, his body type allows him to perform without bruiser or anticipate. He wins the ball cleanly just through natural body contact. He doesn't need jockey either. He's agile enough on L2 and handles opponents comfortably. Lengthy isn't necessary either. Zambrotta keeps up with attackers, catches them, and then uses his body to shut them down. That same body type helps him shield the ball and block runners effectively, another key advantage. And once again, here's proof that anticipate isn't mandatory this year. Fun fact, Zambrotta went through his entire Serie A career, over 600 matches, without a single red card. Maybe that's why he wins the ball so cleanly in FC 26 too. He was famous for his precise sliding tackles even inside the box. Just remember those battles with Maicon and Cristiano. The man was relentless. He was also incredibly fit. The gold relentless playstyle lets you press longer and harder, which is crucial this year. Looking back at his Barcelona days, you understand why he has 4-star skills. But in the game, what really matters is his ability to protect the ball after a tackle, not his step-overs. He also had a great long shot in real life, though sadly that didn't make it into FC 26. To sum it up, Zambrotta is, in our opinion, the best player from this pick. He can lock down either side of defense for a long time. Pep once said about him at Barca, too Italian for tiki-taka, but still respected his intelligence and discipline. And while he's no Alba, in terms of tiki-taka, Alba's on the left and Zambrotta's on the right. Together they make a perfect long-term fullback duo with strong chemistry. Speaking of that, we can't forget Andrea Cambiaso, another top-tier combination. Andrea on the left, Zambrotta on the right. Unless you already built Alba. In fairness, Cambiaso isn't far behind the Italian legend except in physicality and links. But as mentioned in his review, he's faster, more technical, and better in build-up thanks to incisive pass, plus he might get an upgrade. So overall, Cambiaso might even be more interesting, but together they'd be perfect. Now, let's touch on right backs. Surprisingly, Silver Carlos Alberto impressed us a lot. Highly recommended if you haven't picked him yet. The only downside is average pace, but his body type and defensive reliability are top tier. If we had to choose between Macon and Zambrotta, we'd probably take the Brazilian. Even without the fullback role, bruiser and lengthy make him more dynamic, and the meta vibes from last season are still there. Among rare cards, Koundé deserves mention. He's better suited as a central defender due to his pace, so we'd definitely replace him with Zambrotta or even Cambiaso, if the links fit. Same goes for Llorente and Frimpong. They rely on pace but aren't as stable or versatile as Zambrotta. One more reason to consider building him. Gianluca actually loved playing older FIFA versions and testing his own card. Makes him one of us. Remember, all of today's cards can be bought on the market and tested properly. So if you need coins, reach out and we'll help. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll reply quickly. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if this review was helpful or at least interesting. Detailed ratings for today's trio will be posted on Twitter. Thanks for watching till the end and see you in the next video.